here's another controversy, the likes of which we have encountered in the past. And I don't know if it's the most important thing happening in the world today, but it's important to me. So this is the latest iteration of this controversy. I want to show you, this is a viral video that has sparked quite a heated debate. It's a video of a young mother at a bar being confronted for bringing her baby into the bar. And so there's a lot here that has people talking, but let's watch this video.
I mean, you're 22, get out.
I'm 27.
And get your baby out of a bar.
We are. How are you doing right now? We're just waiting for our bill.
You guys are idiots. Why would you do that? Why would you do this for poor kid?
He's having fun.
No, he's not having fun. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're
He won $9,000.
Get your kid out of the bar. Jamie, is that your name?
No, it's not.
Get your kid out of the bar. You have a baby in a bar.
She's filming you, and I'm actually gonna call the police.
They're bothering you. You're bothering you and you're harassing them. They have children.
Are you proud? Yeah, in a bar.
This is
In a bar.
You're drunk. Please.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Okay. Now, my favorite thing about that video probably is all the details that she's making up about this woman as she goes. So you're Jamie, right? No, it's not my name. You're 22? No, I'm 27. She's just making up, but she's drunk, you know, and this is like, she looks like she's in her 50s. This is classic, obnoxious 55-year-old woman drunk because she's angry and yelling, but smiling at the same time. So you got all that going on. And yet many on the internet have sided with the drunk older woman in this dispute. And I saw where this video was posted, and you know, millions of views. This is the kind of thing we talk about on the internet. But you go through the comments, and it's like at least 50-50, if not 60-40 in favor of this woman. And I have to say, if you're one of those people, then I don't know, you have the IQ and the moral sense of like a Komodo dragon or something. You could not be more wrong about this. You would have to be a serial killer. Like, you are automatically a suspected serial killer if you watch that video and your first reaction is that you're on the side of the obnoxious 55-year-old drunk woman screaming obscenities at the young mother with a child. It's like, just as from a visceral reaction standpoint, you should not be on her side. And first of all, whether she's right or wrong on the merits, when you talk to somebody like that in that situation, you're automatically wrong. You don't speak to people that way. Okay? We need to get back to a place in society where people realize that you just don't talk to somebody that way. You deserve to get smacked if you talk to somebody that way. I'm not saying I would do it. I don't hit women. I'm not advocating that anybody would do it. Just to be clear, I'm not saying anyone should do it. And I'm not advocating violence. I'm just saying that if the younger woman had walked over to the older woman and smacked her across the face, just one time, Will Smith style, one time, and said, "Hey, watch your mouth. Hey, watch your mouth." What if she had done that? She would have been morally justified. Not advocating it. I'm glad it didn't happen, frankly, because I don't advocate violence. But if she did, she would have been justified completely morally. And I'm not talking about a beatdown with 15 people. I'm not talking about weapons being used, okay? One slap across the face. You used to be able to do that in this country. Back when we were a real country, when this was America, you could walk up to someone, smack them in the face because they're getting out of hand. They're talking, they're being disrespectful. One smack across the face, and that's it. Simple, elegant solution to the problem. And at the very least, if she had got a beer, tossed in her face, again, would have been totally deserved. You absolutely deserve that response when you treat people like that in public. You have no right to treat people that way. And if you do, what it tells me is that, you have never gotten the kind of response you deserve. And that's why you go around treating people that way. So she's wildly in the wrong for how she's speaking to a stranger here, but she's also wrong on the merits. Because even if she wasn't a vulgar, gross woman, even if she was polite about it, she would still be wrong. And this is where we hear from all the people who, and I got into this argument again on Twitter yesterday, and you hear from all the people that say, well, you think it's okay to bring a baby to a bar? You would bring kids to a bar? Are you serious? Yes, I do think it's okay. In fact, I've done it many times. I did it recently, okay? I had 4 of my kids at a bar like 3 weeks ago. And you know what? It was fine. It was normal. This is a thing that normal people do. If you are a normal person who lives in the world, this is something that people do. Keeping windshields clean is always a pain, especially with all the rain we've been getting here in Nashville. But that's why I am grateful to have my Windshield Wow. Windshield Wow is an innovative windshield cleaning device that uses 2 magnetic cleaning paddles, one on the outside, one on the inside of your car, to clean both sides of your windshield, all from the outside. Being able to clean both the front and the inside window at the same time is a game changer. Wish I had one of these years ago. Windshield Wow applies firm cleaning pressure. It's super thin to get into those tight dashboard areas. Seriously, all you got to do is push around the outside paddle and the inside falls automatically, leaving your windshield squeaky clean. What's awesome about Windshield Wow is how easy it is to throw these in the back of your car. Think about how much we're in our cars, from daily commutes, road trips, bird droppings, tree sap, and more. Windshield Wow is always here to save the day. Washing your car windshield enhances visibility, driving safety, and helps preserve the integrity of your vehicle's glass and paintwork. It's a simple yet essential aspect of car maintenance that should not be overlooked. What are you waiting for? Go to windshieldwow.com. Use code Walsh at checkout for a special discount. That's windshieldwow.com. Use code Walsh. And listen, bars come in different forms, obviously. I'm not saying it's okay to bring your kids to any bar. Of course not. There are dive bars. Back where I used to live, we had a dive, like an actual dive, not a trendy bar in the city that they call a dive bar, but the beers, it still costs you $27 to buy a drink. That's not a dive bar. I'm talking about an actual dive bar. Had one down the street. The kind of place where, you go, there's always like at least one motorcycle in the parking lot. The rest are pickup trucks. You walk in, and no matter what time of day you walk in, there's always at least one guy who's like in his 60s and he's just sloppy drunk sitting by himself at the bar. You go in at 2 p.m. and there's at least one guy who's just sitting there. He's not bothering anybody, but he was completely drunk. And not only that, but he's getting drunk on light beer. So this is a guy who's, 4% alcohol type drinks, and he's drinking gallons of them, rarely gets up to use the bathroom. He could sit there for 4 hours drinking 60 gallons of beer, never get up one time. I don't know how he does it. But I'm talking about that kind of bar. People are smoking cigarettes inside. It's probably against state law, but they do it anyway. And I love the place. I thought it was I was a huge fan of the place. I loved that place. And I wouldn't bring my kids there. Obviously, I wouldn't. You wouldn't bring your kids to like a college bar, where the building capacity is 175 people, but they've got 400 people crammed in there, and you have no room to even move your arms, and it's 140 degrees inside, and it's so loud you feel like you're sitting in a jet engine. And would you bring your kids to that place? Obviously not. But most bars are not like either of those. Most bars are Applebee's, okay? That's what they are, Applebee's or places similar. In most parts of the country, when someone goes to the bar, that's where they're going. They're going to Applebee's. They're going to TGI Fridays. They're going to Buffalo Wild Wings. And not only are those places perfectly acceptable for kids, but they're great places to bring kids. They are the best places to bring kids to eat. If I'm bringing my kids out for a meal, I'm looking for a place that says sports bar. It needs to say bar on it somewhere, or I'm not bringing my kids in. Because then it's a little bit louder. There are larger groups there. There are TVs. There's like stuff going on, and so your kid can be a kid and can be like a little talkative, a little bit louder, and it's not going to disrupt other people. So those are great places to bring kids. And when I hear people that disagree with that, like what do you think? Do you think that families should just never go out to eat? Is that what you think? You think when you're a family and you have young kids, would you just stay in your home for 18 years, never emerge? You never go to like a normal place that people go. Families are part of society, okay? Kids are part of society. They're allowed to be seen. They're allowed to be a part of it. They should be. And that's kind of the bigger point here, is that we should be as welcoming of kids as possible. It doesn't mean that we welcome them in every scenario, but we should be a lot more welcoming of them than we are. And that's why it's also bizarre to me when I hear, as I have seen from the conversation around this video, that you see these people that say, I just want to go somewhere where there aren't a bunch of kids. Everywhere I go, there's a bunch of kids. I don't need to see kids when I'm at the bar. What are you talking about? Like, why are you acting like we live in a country with big, young families everywhere? Why are you acting like everywhere you go, there's just kids all over the place? That's not the case. Unless you happen to live, there are small pockets of the country where, and usually it's like if you go to a place where there are a lot of very conservative Catholics, or a lot of very Orthodox Jews, or a lot of very religious Mormons. If you go to one of those small pockets, okay, a place like that, you're going to see a lot of big families. You go to a place like, if anyone's familiar with Front Royal, Virginia, okay, you go there, yeah, anywhere you go, every family has 14 kids at a minimum. But outside of that, I don't know what people are talking about. Most places you go, there's not a lot of kids, and the reason is that the average family has fewer than 2 kids. We are below replacement level. We are an old country, and we are getting older. And that's part of the reason why, far from kids being included too much, our problem is the opposite. We make most things adult-oriented when they shouldn't be. Right? We're actually, it's not that we're including kids too much. We're taking things away from kids that should be theirs. We've got generations of adults now who are clinging on to the things of childhood that should belong to kids, but they're clinging and they won't let go of them, and they drag them with them into middle age. I'll never forget the time when someone was complained, not to me, but in my presence, that they were at, I don't remember what it was, some superhero movie, maybe Captain America or something, and they complained that there were too many kids in the movie. And it's like, it's a superhero movie. It's for kids, you nerd. That's what it's for. That exists for kids. You're the one who's intruding, if anything. I'm just waiting for the day when I hear someone like leaving a Chuck E. Cheese and going, man, fun place, but way too many kids. I mean, can't the fella just play in the ball pit without kids all over the place? Can't the guy slide down the plastic slide with a juice box without kids being all over the place? That's what you all sound like, because it's just as absurd to complain about kids at a bar and restaurant. These are classic family places, and you're complaining about it. Because I guess you don't want to see any families. I think some of you watched Children of Men and thought that it was an instruction manual. You watched Children of Men and didn't realize that it's supposed to be a horrifying dystopia. So you saw it exactly the opposite, right? That was a world where no one's having kids anymore. And at the end, there's like one girl who's pregnant and, they protect her from the bad guys and she has a kid. And you watched that movie and you thought it had a sad ending. You thought it was like a happy movie that's sad at the very end. But that's not the case. You should not be excited for a future like that, where there are no kids and no families and everybody is old and depressed and dying. That's not good. We don't want that. Although, yeah, I guess in a world like that, you can go to Applebee's and you're not going to have any kids bothering you. So maybe that's the positive. If you'd like to see what else I have to say, you can access my full show by going to dailywire.com or by going to the Matt Walsh Show Twitter page. Hope to see you there. Godspeed.